everybody. Welcome to Kidlit Chapter Chat. We're so excited that you guys have been watching and listening, and we appreciate all of your comments and everything. This week, we are going to be reading from Whispering Pines by sister duo Heidi and Kati Bartkowski. It's published by McElderry Books. I am going to read you a summary, and then we'll get to the chapter. Ray's father vanished without a trace, and Ray knows what happened to him. But no one believes her when she says that her father didn't run off, that he was actually taken. Now, a year of therapy later, Ray's mother decides they need a fresh start, so they move to a new town in the hope that life can return to normal. The problem is, there is nothing normal about the town of Whispering Pines. No one knows this better than Caden. He's lived in Whispering Pines his entire life, and he's seen more than his fair share of weird, starting with his own family, as the town is the perfect home base for his mother's ghost hunting business. When several kids go missing and then show up like zombies with their eyes removed, many locals brush it off. But Caden has a dark secret, one that may explain why someone is stealing eyes. And Ray, who knows how it feels not to be believed, may just be the person Caden needs to help him put things right. This book is told in dual point of views, so this first chapter is from Ray's point of view. Ray Carter had never run away from anything in her 12 years, no matter what. She believed in always finding out the truth and facing it head on, even when it cost her all her friends. But now, as her mom's minivan rumbled into their new town, she realized that running away was exactly what she was doing, and it felt okay, actually, although she wasn't so sure about the place they were running to. "Welcome to Whispering Pines," Ray read off the large sign posted at the edge of town. "Mind the goats." She frowned. "Really? Goats?" "Goats must be important around here," her older sister Ava said in that irritatingly superior tone she'd been using lately, like it was all so obvious. "Don't try to pretend that's not weird," Ray said. "Most other town signs just tell you the population." Ava shrugged. "I happen to like it. You like it, right, Mom?" "It's definitely different," their mom said, slowing down to match the speed limit as they cruised down the main street. 27.5 miles per hour. Ray had never seen a decimal point in a speed limit sign before, but this time she kept that to herself. Ava would probably claim she liked that too. Ray scowled at the back of her sister's head. Ava was 5 years older than her, which hadn't mattered all that much before, but this past year, Ray had felt each and every one of those years piling up between them. "Don't be such a child, Ray." Ray shook off the memory of the worst day of her life, the day she'd really needed her sister's help and instead got a condescending lecture. If Ray was finally running away from something, it might as well be everything. She could leave her old self behind and be someone new here, someone who wasn't overly focused on strange things, the kind of girl who made friends easily and kept them, and was able to let the little things go. But then she thought of her dad and knew she couldn't actually abandon everything. They left the small downtown area behind and turned onto a tree-lined street. All of the streets here were tree-lined. They'd had plenty of trees back home in Sunnyside, California too, but not like this. It was as if the houses and businesses of this town were battling the forest for space. A few more turns, even more trees, and up ahead Ray spotted a moving van parked on the street in front of a rectangular white house. Her mom pulled up behind the van and cut the engine, the car filling with quiet as the three of them just sat there, staring at their new home. It was definitely larger than their old place, but it looked older, the paint a bit weathered, the bushes lining the walk slightly overgrown. Otherwise, it seemed normal enough. No goats anywhere. Ray was a little disappointed. She glanced at her mom in the rearview mirror. Her mom wore one of those looks that meant her mind was a million miles away, her eyes wide and unfocused. It was a look she'd worn way too often this past year, ever since Ray's dad had vanished. "Been taken," Ray corrected herself. That was one truth she couldn't forget, not for a second. "Mom?" she asked. No response. "Should we go in?" Ava asked a little louder. Their mom gave herself a little shake and smiled. "I suppose we'd better," she said. Of course, she responded to Ava. She always did. Ray crossed her arms, remaining in the back seat as her mom and sister got out and headed toward the house. Neither of them looked back though, and after a minute, Ray got tired of being sulky and climbed out of the car too. She took a deep breath. The air smelled different here, like pine needles and dirt. The trees nearby had just started to change color, clumps of red and orange bursting out from behind all that green. Ray had heard that nothing beat autumn in Connecticut. So far, it seemed like it was off to a slow start. "You coming in?" Ava called, poking her head out the front door. Yes, Ray grumbled, but she hesitated at the bottom of the driveway. Once she went inside, that would be it. The end of the old Ray, the start of the new. She wasn't sure if she was ready. She looked at the moving van looming in front of her, packed full of everything from her family's old life, and realized she didn't really have a choice. Movement behind the van caught her eye. Someone was walking through the yard of the house across the street. Ray glanced at the open front door behind her, then took a step away from it. She wasn't stalling, she was investigating. She stepped past the van so she could see the house across the street better. It sat up on a hill, its own driveway long and unpaved, and at the bottom, a large square sign read, "Got a ghost problem? Name your price," in bold orange letters. Below that, written in black, it said, "Paranormal Price, specializing in exorcisms, tarot readings, and house cleansings," followed by a phone number. Ray scratched her head. Maybe it was a joke. She looked past the sign, through a thin layer of trees and up the driveway, where a boy with messy dark hair moved slowly backward through the yard. He was tall and skinny and wearing all black, probably a requirement if his family actually specialized in ghost hunting, and he was tossing handfuls of something onto the grass as he walked. "Hello?" Ray called loudly. If they were going to be neighbors, she might as well be friendly. The boy looked up at her. She waved. He turned away, tossing more of whatever it was into the grass behind him and ignoring her completely. Ray slowly lowered her hand to her side, her heart sinking. Maybe things wouldn't be any different here for her after all. "Don't mind him," a voice said behind her. Ray whirled, coming face to face with a girl about her age wearing jeans and a gray t-shirt with the words "Seeking Samantha" printed on it. "Caden Price doesn't really like people." The girl tossed her long dark hair back over her shoulder. "I mean, we live on the same street and I think he's spoken to me once." "What's he doing?" Ray asked. "Drawing a line with salt." "Salt? Why?" "I have no idea, and frankly, I'm scared to ask. But he does it a lot, especially lately." "Great," Ray muttered. She was living across from a ghost-hunting weirdo with a condiment problem. "I'm Brandy, by the way. You must be Ray, right?" Ray's eyes widened. How could this girl possibly know that? "I promise I'm not some creepy stalker," Brandy said quickly. "We just don't get many new people here, so as soon as the moving van showed up, I had to investigate." "Spoken like a true stalker," Ray said. The words slipping out, she immediately regretted them. They belonged to the old Ray, the one who had ended up friendless and alone. "I mean," Brandy laughed. "No, that's fair. My mom tells me I'm too nosy for my own good. Claims it'll get me in trouble someday." She shrugged. "Anyhow, you'll be in my school, good old Dana S. Middle School. 7th grade, right?" Ray nodded. "I'm a grade above you, but I like helping new students get settled in. And since you're like only the second one we've had in a year, I can totally show you around if you want." "Show me around? You mean here or at school?" "Both," Brandy grinned. She had chapped lips and a small gap between her front teeth, but somehow they made her smile look even better. Ray wanted to grin back, but embarrassingly, she could feel tears building in the back of her eyes. It had been a long time since anyone had been so nice to her, not since her ex-best friend had cut all ties at the beginning of 6th grade. "I'd like that," she said, turning a little away and blinking rapidly. "Cool beans." Brandy studied the moving van. "You probably want to get unpacked, right?" "Not really," Ray admitted. She wasn't looking forward to going through all those boxes. "Oh, good. Want to get ice cream with me instead? I'm supposed to be cleaning, but if I'm showing the new girl around, my mom can't really get mad at me." "Oh, so you're using me?" "Just a little." Brandy flashed another gap-toothed smile. "Want to come anyhow?" This time, Ray managed to smile back. "I'd love to. Let me just go check with my mom." "I'll wait." Ray turned and hurried up the driveway, her earlier hesitation gone. It was time to reinvent herself here in this strange little town. Out with the old Ray and in with the new. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, we suggest you go to your local library or bookstore and pick up your own copy, and we'll see you next week.